Welcome to Adam's Athenaeum. Let's take a look together through the news and records of our times as we try to shed light upon the unvarnished truth. Thanks for coming back to listen to this second episode of Fact Checking the Fact Checkers. Previously on the first episode, we looked at a CNN, essentially political piece by a writer or contributor named Daniel Dale, in which he was trying to fact check some political ads for this midterm election cycle. And essentially, if I remember correctly, he got 1.5 out of 3 of his 3-part segment correct. As I was scrolling through the news today, found my way to CNN's opinions page again, and guess who we find again? Daniel Dale, giving another report, as you will, on the GOP's dishonesty-filled barrage of defund the police attack ads. Now, I fast-forwarded through the video just a little ways so you could see a picture of Daniel Dale. I wanted to bring it up just so you could see, as I thought, he just seems to be so smug and proud of this hard work that he's done, right? To bring people truth and to bring light to people so people can understand what they're voting for, right? Except, once again, he's not entirely correct. Where should we begin on this? We could begin looking at the basic premises of his articles. He's talking about Kermit Jones. He talks about Speaker Pelosi and Kermit Jones. We've got Abigail Spanberger. We've got Stephen Horsford of Nevada. Andrea Salinas of Oregon. And it continues for 1 or 2 more people. Liz Mathis of Iowa. So we're going to do our best and just kind of start down the list and see where we end up. So let's go ahead, jump to this page so that way we can view it together. Let's pull up the Abigail Spanberger's political ad. Let me see. I think it's this one. Let's make sure that it's the correct one. Okay, here we go. Let's watch it together.
To the Constitution, to put country first before party.
But Abigail Spanberger quickly broke that oath in Congress repeatedly. Spanberger voted 92% with AOC's radical agenda, and Abigail Spanberger joined AOC's effort to defund the police. Spanberger sold out our brave men and women in law enforcement for a political contribution of $5,000 from AOC. Spanberger, a broken oath, anti-police, a radical partisan, a dangerous record. This ad was paid for by Moms for Safe Streets PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Okay, kind of sounds like your typical political ad, to be honest with you. But I encourage all people to do this. It's very easy to do. What I wanted to know after that video was essentially Abigail Spanberger's voting choices. How has she voted since being in Congress, right? Well, I went to govtrack.us/Congress/members, looked up Abigail Spanberger, and essentially here she is, in general, pretty moderate, actually, considering where the left currently stands and how far left the Republicans have ceded ground. She still stands pretty much right in the middle. She's enacted legislation on several things that seem to help police. Let's see, crime and law enforcement, right? Banning misleading drug ads. She doesn't seem to be completely off the walls. She doesn't seem to be far left. She doesn't seem to be far right. She seems to be almost down the middle, which is hard to say for people these days. You can even see her missed votes, right? So these are things that you should look at as you're gathering information on who you want to vote for. So back to the question of that original article, is she a supporter of defund the police? It doesn't look like it entirely. Does she support AOC? Perhaps. And AOC wholeheartedly supports defund the police. I mean, here, let's pull up just a little bit of this. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to share the video since it's on YouTube. YouTube has certain policies about sharing YouTube videos. I mean, this is actually from Fox. It says, RNC releases 7-minute video of Dems echoing defund police rhetoric as party tries to back away from movement. And it's basically just a 7 minutes of Democrats admitting that they want to defund the police, right? In different words, in different paragraphs, different phrasings. And it all starts with Nancy Pelosi, goes to AOC. So there's plenty of people high up in government who want to defund the police. And there's many people who are running for Congress who also want to defund the police. They may not say it straight out, but like Beto O'Rourke, you know, this Daniel Dale guy was trying to say that the Beto O'Rourke ad was fake and that Beto O'Rourke has never supported defunding the police. Well, Beto O'Rourke has said that I support defunding, and then he says 55 words about different things that he would defund from the police. And then he says, like, essentially, that doesn't work. Well, then, yeah, we'll have to have a complete overhaul of police. Well, yeah, that sounds like defunding the police, reimagining the police. So you got to be careful who you're voting for and who they support. So as we were reading in that CNN article, they also mentioned, I believe it was Kermit Jones, right? So let's go ahead and pull up the video in relation to him and watch it together. Here we go.
For our seat in Congress, Nancy Pelosi's made her pick, and it's Kermit Jones. Why Kermit Jones? Because he will rubber stamp her agenda. Jones supports Pelosi's $4 trillion in spending that caused the sky-high gas and grocery prices, crushing our families. And if Pelosi has her way, Jones will join her to defund the police and raise the gas tax even higher. Kermit Jones, he's not with us, he's with Pelosi.
I'm Kevin Kiley, and I approve this message.
Okay, again, seems like your general run-of-the-mill political ad. It's mostly true. You're going to have to do a little bit of digging to find out what they're lying about, right? Essentially, the only thing he's got off here is that if we go to Kermit Jones's page, his candidate page, I guess you would call it, his public page as he's trying to run for Congress. We check out the news section or places he's been involved, with his name being brought up in the news. One of them is this article we used earlier, the CNN fact check. There was a couple down here that I had read. I don't have them pulled up for this episode. One was his press release, Kevin Kiley caught lying by California police officers. And that article essentially details that the California Police Officers Association has endorsed Kermit Jones as being a supporter of the police movement, not a supporter of the defund the police movement. The police in California have Kermit Jones's back. So that part does seem like a blatant lie by Kevin Kiley. Now, again, perhaps he was trying to say that Kermit Jones supports people like AOC and Pelosi, who are proponents of the defund the police movement, right? We got to be careful. We got to tiptoe. Again, you can pull up these people's voting records to see how they've actually voted. Do they vote like Nancy Pelosi does on policies? Or do they vote more middle of the road like Ms. Spanberger? Now, for the rest of this article from Daniel Dale, he actually got almost the rest of it correct. So you did better, Daniel Dale. Good job, CNN. You did a little bit better this time. Actually, you did quite a fair bit better. I'll give you that, right? Last time, you didn't even have 2/3 of your argument together or straight or the facts correct. And now you've got the majority of it correct. Good job. The problem here is the phrasing, right? And this is being done by both sides. Daniel Dale is making it seem like all Republicans are running false political ads. I don't see it that way. The way I see it is that too many Republicans are just assuming that every Democrat running for Congress wants to have full term late abortion, wants to defund the police to the fullest extreme, that they want to abandon the Constitution. That's wrong. If you assume something of someone else, it makes an ass out of you and me, right? That's a old nomenclature. If you break down the word assume, ASS, makes an ass, you, me, out of you and me. Anyway, don't assume things. Many times you'll be wrong. But what do we say about this? Don't trust everything you read. Don't trust a fact checker just because they labeled something as fact checked. Just because you got something taken down as promoting mis or disinformation. Fight it. If you know that you're bringing the truth and you brought the receipts, unlike other people, then fight like hell. Do your diligence, and the truth will set you free. That's where I'll leave today's episode. I'll try to make it short. I want to say a fairly good job to CNN this time. It's not often I say it, but to be what I'm trying to help others to be, I have to admit when the people that I dislike do something that I think is good. And they did mostly good here. But there's a lesson to be learned, right? Don't trust what you're reading entirely. Don't trust what you're hearing entirely. Do some legwork on your own. It's not hard. It doesn't take long. And with the internet, it's super easy. I can provide some of the information for you, but I can't provide it all to you in a way that's entertaining, short, and enjoyable. Although I'll do my best. Anyway, you can find me here on these platforms, Adams Athenaeum, at Rumble, Twitter, Locals, and YouTube. I'm going to be posting again later this week, so please come back. Subscribe. That way you get notified when I do go live. And if you want to talk about anything in this video, please, let's have it down in the comment section. And if you feel that anyone in your family or even your friends needs to hear something from this message, please feel free to share it. I look forward to seeing you all soon. And again, thanks for coming.